Hi everyone, I'm Brian. I'm gonna be rereading Stone Soup by William Furstenberg. It was a told version of the original 1947 book by Marcia Brown. And there's another copy of this book where it was retold by Marilyn Sapienza. But this one I'm reading right here is told by William Furstenberg. Yeah, it was still illustrated by Hans Wilhelm. So, it's just the same book, but read told by a different person. So, this is the front cover of the book, and then here's the back of it. There's the Weekly Reader Children's Book Club, and I read this book. I remember making a video of me reading this book on my old account, Brian Cookus, and I as a kid, but that account has ever since got terminated by YouTube. So I'm gonna remake it so I'm rereading this book again. So, because this was Rich's book, and because it's originally own this one. So yeah, guys. Weekly Reader Children's Book Club presents Stone Soup. We were told by William Furstenberg, illustrated by Hans Wilhelm. Weekly Reader Books, Middletown, Connecticut. And this book came out in 1984. Yeah. So now I'm gonna read it now. Go read this book now. Look, said Winston as he scrambled to the top of the hill. I can just see a little village way down there in the valley. I see it too, cried Clara happily. It looks like such a friendly place, doesn't it? I certainly hope it is, said Winston. We've been on the road for 3 days now without a meal. And 3 nights sleeping on the hard, cold ground, sighed Clara. I gave just about anything for a soft bed to sleep me on tonight. Winston put his arm around his sister. Don't worry, Clara, he said. I'm sure we'll find something to eat in the village, and you will have to have your soft bed too. People all over the world are kind of travelers like us. Winston and Clara were still a long way from the village, but the townspeople already had seen them coming. Now these people were rich enough, and they had plenty to eat. The trouble was they hated strangers, and they were just as mean and stingy as could be. See those 2 strangers head our way, said one. Why, they'll eat everything in town if we let we'll eat everything in town if we let them. You're right, said another, and they mustn't find out how rich we are, either, or surely how they'll want us to stay with them. So everyone in the village got busy hiding food and money. The town butcher closed his shop. He snatched the roasts and chops and steaks out of his store window. He then hid them down in the cellar. The butcher's shop looked bare as a bone. The town banker locked up his bank. He shuttered the windows and put a sign on the door. Bank closed, all out of money. The village innkeeper put every key to every room. No guests were staying in the inn, but no matter, he hung a sign over the desk anyway. In full next in 10 miles. The farmer's wife ran out to the garden. Quickly, she picked every cabbage, carrot, and onion. Then she hid them under her bed. Pictures from the book. The townspeople put chickens and sausages in their closets. They stuffed rice and potatoes into drawers and cupboards. They even lowered buckets of milk down into their wells. It wasn't long before every single scrap of food was out of sight. Now the villagers could go about the day as usual, but even the richest of them wore the poorest, oldest clothes. Each man put a sad, hungry look on each face, and each woman clutched at her stomach as if she hadn't seen them eaten in days. Our travelers reached the village gates with high hopes. Look at all the fine big houses," said Winston. "It looks like a lot of rich folks live there." Said Clara. I think I smell a fresh baked apple pie." "Me too," said Winston. "And my apple pie smelling nose is pointing to that big white house over there." Winston and Clara went right up to that house and knocked on the door. It opened just a crack. "What do you strangers want?" said a harsh voice from behind the door. "Please," said Winston, "my sister and I have come a long way. We have nothing to eat for 3 whole days, and—" "Go away," said the voice. "We barely have enough food for ourselves." The door slammed shut with a bang. Clara went up to a man who was crossing the street. "Please, sir," she said politely, my brother and I are a long way from home. We could use a hot meal and a place to sleep." "That's not my problem," said the man gruffly. There's no room in the inn. And as for food, well, we had a bad harvest. There's almost no food left in the whole town." Then the man put the hungriest possible look on his face. He grabbed his stomach with both hands. "I'm hungry too," he said as he went on his way. Winston and Clara knocked on every village door. They stopped everyone who passed by. "No food, no room. We're as poor as you are. Go away." The answer was always the same. Whatever will we do now?" cried Clara, as they slumped down on a bench in the village square. I don't know," said Winston sadly. "I feel sorry for these people, as if they're as badly off as they say." I feel a lot sorrier for them," said Clara. "If they've been lying to us, we must have hearts of stone." "Hey," shouted Winston, "that gives me an idea. Come on, Clara, follow me." What for?" asked Clara. "Where are we going?" Just follow me. I'll explain it along the way," said Winston. Then Winston and they told Clara's idea, and they know just what they had to do. Winston and Clara ran to the bell in the village square. They tugged hard on the rope, and the bell rang and rang. Right away the whole town came running. What's the meaning of this?" asked the mayor. He shoved his way to the head of the crowd. "We only ring the town bell for emergencies." "Sir," said Winston, "this is an emergency. We've knocked on every door. We've talked to everyone who would listen. I'm sure you would like to help us, if only you could. So it must be true, then. You're as poor as hungry as we are." "So," said Clara, "now's the perfect time to make some stone soup." "Soup?" said the mayor. "From stones?" He threw back his head and laughed heartily. The crowd began to laugh too. Stone soup indeed. "Go home, everybody," said the mayor. "These youngsters are not only poor and hungry, they're crazy too. Whoever heard of such thing as stone soup?" Sorry, I'm getting tired of standing up because I can't get the best angle of the book here. So, next page. "But wait," said Winston, tugging at the mayor's coat. "Have you ever heard of the Great Wadu of Wixieland? Now there is no such thing as a Wadu, and there's never been a place called Wixieland." But the mayor thought to himself, "Wixieland? Wadu? These sound like important things a mayor should know about. Everyone who knows anything knows about the Great Wadu."
Okay, man?
"Yes." "Shh," snapped the mayor. So what?" "Well, sir," Winston went on, "as you know, the Great Wadu of Wixieland, and the wisest would do of all. My father was his best student, so he rewarded my father with the secret recipe for stone soup. Father passed secret on to me. You see, when you know how to make stone soup, you can never get hungry. The mayor thought to himself, maybe there's something to the stone soup after all. Think how rich we could be if we could make soup from stones. Our little village would be famous. Give us a chance, Clara pleaded. All we need from you is a soup kettle. What's the harm in that? All right then, said the mayor at last. Bring them a soup kettle and make it a big one. Let's see if these two can feed the whole town with stones. So 3 of the strongest townsfolk brought out the largest soup pot in the village. Winston and Clara grabbed 2 buckets and ran to a nearby stream. It took many, many bucketfuls to fill the pot with water. Next, they gathered up firewood. They built a huge bonfire under the kettle. In no time at all, the water was boiling and bubbling merrily. And I'm using my new Amazon Fire tablet to film this because you know it's a little closer, zoomed in. So Winston picked out 4 large round stones lying in the village square. How lucky are you? How lucky you are, said Winston. You have just the right kind of stones in your village for stone soup. Clara carefully wiped the dirt from each stone. Then she dropped them, one by one, into the kettle with a splash. Winston and Clara sat down to wait, but it wasn't long before the crowd grew restless. What's happened to the magic soup you promised us? Cried one of the villagers. You can't hurry. You can't hurry good stone soup, Clara replied. Stones are very hard. It takes a lot of cooking to make them tender and juicy. More time passed at last. Winston went to the steaming pot and dipped into his spoon. We blew on the soup to cool. A hush fell over the crowd. Ah, said Winston as he tasted the broth. Stone soup is so tasty even when it's plain like this. Let me have some, said the mayor eagerly. Oh, not yet, sir, said Winston. It needs salt and pepper first. Right away, the mayor sent his wife home for salt and pepper. In just a few minutes, she was back, bringing some fresh herbs too. Clara sprinkled salt, pepper, and herbs into the bubbling kettle. You know, said Winston as he stirred the soup, stone soup is so much better than when it has a few carrots in it, or maybe a cabbage or 2. Winston, cried Clara with a frown, you know that these people are as poor as hungry as we are. What would they be doing with carrots and cabbages? I'm sure if they had some, they'd tell us. I have carrots and cabbages under my bed, said I have carrots and cabbages under my bed, said the farmer's wife, not thinking what she was saying. Your bed? Said Winston with a look of surprise. I mean, the cabbage bed, she quickly explained. Maybe I can even find a carrot or 2. It can't hard to go see. So the farmer's wife ran to her bedroom, and in just a few minutes she was back. She brought a sack full of carrots, cabbages, and onions too, which Winston and Clara chopped the vegetables and drew them into the pot. Winston, said Clara as he stirred the soup, doesn't our stone soup look just a bit thin? It could use a little milk, don't you think? Milk, said Winston. Clara, milk is for rich people. Where in the world would these poor folks go get milk? From our wells, said the butcher's wife without thinking. Wells? Said Clara with a look of surprise. I meant to say, I might well find a drop or 2 left, she explained. It won't hurt to go see. Off the butcher's wife went running. She soon returned, hauling 2 huge buckets brimming with fresh milk. Winston and Clara poured the milk into the pot. Winston stared and stared at the soup. "You know, Clara," he said, "stone soup is just not quite the same without potatoes." "Winston," Clara scolded, "I know that even very poor people have potatoes to eat, but we've been to every house in this unhappy village, and we didn't use a single potato anywhere." The potatoes are in drawers and cupboards," said the banker's wife. "In drawers and cupboards," said Winston with surprise. Oh, what I meant is maybe some potatoes rolled behind my cupboards," she explained. "Or maybe one or two fell in the drawer. It can't hurt to go look." So off the banker's wife ran to her cupboards and drawers. Quick as a wink, she was back with a basket full of potatoes. Winston and Clara peeled them, cut them up, and tossed them into the pot. You know," said Clara, speaking loudly with enough for the whole village to hear, "my father often had dinner with the Emperor of Bongo Bongo." The townspeople looked blankly at each other. Not one had ever heard of Bongo Bongo, but it must be a very important place to have a real emperor in charge. "This emperor," Clara went on, "serves stone soup just like ours, only has always meaning it. Just imagine," the townspeople said to each other, a little meat would make one stone soup good enough for an emperor." But Clara," said Winston sternly, "you know this is not Bongo Bongo, and these people certainly are not emperors. How can you even talk to them about me? You saw the butcher shop, bare as a bone." "All the meat is in the cellar," the butcher said. In the cellar?" said Clara with surprise. "Oh, I mean, I'm the cellar." I'm the cellar," explained the butcher quickly. "But maybe there are some scraps left I didn't sell. It's no harm in looking." Off ran the butcher to the cellar of the shop, and in no time at all he was back with both arms wrapped around a huge chunk of beef. Winston and Clara cut it up and threw it in the pot. The wonderful smell of the soup kettle was making the whole town hungry, especially the mayor. "I can't wait for another minute," he said. Then he snatched up a spoon and dipped into the soup. As he tasted it, the crowd was quiet as could be. "Why," said the mayor with delight, "this is truly the most wonderful soup I've ever tasted. And imagine, there's nothing in it but stones and water." The whole town cheered and sighed with joy. They hoisted Winston and Clara high on their shoulders. How proud they were of this magical pair. Why not have a feast in honor of the two cooks who made soup from stones? Chairs and tables were set out in the square. Roast chickens and sausages came out of hiding. There was fresh cider to drink, and all sorts of cakes and pies for dessert. The townspeople ate and drank long into the night. When the last drop of stone soup was gone, the innkeeper took Winston and Clara into the inn. He gave them his best room. Quickly they fell asleep in soft beds at last. Next morning, everyone in the village turned out to see Winston and Clara on their way. You've taught us some wonderful magic," said the mayor. "How can we ever thank you?" "By serving stone soup to all hungry travelers," was Winston and Clara's reply. And to this day, the little village is known the world over its big heart. There is always food and rest for a tired and hungry traveler, and it's all because of Winston and Clara. They gave the village a recipe for stone soup, and a recipe for kindness too. And that's the end. So yeah, guys, that is a Stone Tube story retold by William Furstenberg, illustrated by Hans Wilhelm. Yeah, I started reading this book because I started reread reread it by Brian Cookies too, because I was reading it. So yeah, guys. Even though this original, even though this was also retold by I forgot the name, but anyway, guys, you may subscribe to my channel, comment, and share. Bye, everyone. Have a nice day and peace out.